little last piece of cake, it is what we do. So everyone, once again, thank you so much. Good evening. And because it's a special occasion, I thought I'll just share something with all of you. And if you allow me, we'll introduce our speaker on the day. But it's nice to look at the occasion. It's nice to look at the people around and say, okay, what are we looking at? On the special occasion of our Skill Ambassadors anniversary, I thought let's have a little Valentine love for everybody. And as a pure Gujarati that she and we all are, and yes, Soha ma'am and all those lovely Gujaratis out there, a big shout out to all of us. Yeah, we call it Valentine's Business Love. So I have a little presentation here for all of you, and you'll see again, ma'am coming in. What are the ingredients that make love stick? I thought I'll put some couples across, and this is a little lighter moment. Chumbak, if you know this company called Chumbak, they make lovely accessories. There's a bag out there. There's one in Seawood, by the way, and I say good things attract. And when I say love, of course, my daughter came the other day and said, Abba, Valentine's not only about you and mama, it's about me and you also. And she hugged me. I said, absolutely. It's about our pets, our friends. Oh, I know I have got a competitor with my wife, her best friend. She's the one who draws my wife away. And she's here, Madhya ma'am. Yeah, I'm speaking about you. So good people, good friends, they celebrate each other's success. And then, I think she's a very popular lady, Ghazal Aleg. She is a Shark Tank. So one story about her and how Mama Earth came is when they had the first baby, she and her husband decided, let's start a company also. And what amazing idea, because when you do something you love, her child was growing up. So Ghazal Alex says every year we have 2 birthdays to celebrate, one for my child and one for my company. And isn't it amazing when you do things you're passionate about? All of you here, you're excited to speak, you're excited to train people in life skill. That's what we do. And yes, of course, we have this wonderful lady. She's a binder. So my keyword for her is love binds people. Trust me, she's taking people on an amazing picnic tomorrow. I can't, I'm pinching myself for missing it, but all of you out there, go on, enjoy. And I'll have a special request. So can I join her at 12 o'clock? But Kajal ma'am, we wish you all the love. We wish sir all the love. And the real love is when you have one goal, when we have one vision, and you talk about that. She's the binder of our team, and she's doing amazing work binding. Couple of more, with her, I thought I'll pick this couple. They have a company called Samosa Singh. It is said the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Yasir sir from Kerala will agree all the way. So all of us. So he said his wife cooks so lovely samosas. He created a company. Today the company is worth 64 crores. My goodness, I didn't know samosas were this expensive. I went to Samosa Singh in, where is that? In Chanakya Puri in Delhi. And it is absolutely amazing. And, the occasion calls for people. We have a nutritionist here, Tarannum ma'am. You will not see a husband and think she's a nutritionist. He has chosen round as a shape, but he's in shape. But love comes through good food, and good food binds us together. And by the way, love also means criticizing your partner, and that's what good business partners do, right? You're not afraid to talk and share. Last two, these are the 2 most celebrated people in India. I mean, I'm a Virat Kohli fan, more a Rohit Sharma, but Virat Kohli is amazing. Anushka Sharma. But what I love about them, if you go on Instagram, if you go on Twitter, they have a fan following, huge fan following. If you see in one of Anushka Sharma's videos, she says, hey Kohli, chokka. Yet, ever you see the interviews, they are each other's biggest fan. That's what real love is. When you are cheering your partner, when I say partner, I'm talking all of us. When somebody's success becomes our success, when somebody's achievement becomes our achievement, that's what love is about. And finally, great love is when you grow old together, when you grow wiser together, when you grow grayer together, right? And I think India's best couple I can think of are the Murthis. Padma Bhushan Shri, Padma Shri Shri Narayan Murthy and Padma Bhushan Sudha Murthy. And for all of us early educators, I think most of us will talk about it. Sudha Murthy is an icon. She says when Narayan Murthy wanted to leave TCS, Tata Consultancy, he didn't have money. And the wife gave the seed funding. She was the first venture capital. 10,000 rupees is when she gave to Narayan Murthy in 1980. I think love is about shared growth, shared pain. Your spouse, your partner knows when you're down. And I think on this lovely occasion, Valentine is just one where there's so many stories in India. And I'm sure we will have stories of success as we grow. So, as we say, let love win. And once again, we wish our dearest member, Kajal ma'am, lots and lots of love on the anniversary. And what an amazing anniversary you have after Valentine. Ma'am, what gift did you get? Can I have some quick questions now? Why can't we? Yeah, so where did you, which restaurant did you go and what gift did you get and give?
Sir, we went to Bahana, a lovely place, a lovely, like food, ambience, everything was perfect. Loved the place.
Wow, wow.
And gift, and now after I think 21 years, it's like you have everything. I don't know what to give.
This is the best bahana, right? Not to get anything? But so sweet of you, so nice, and it's so sportive of you to be there on a day when you could always choose not to come. So sit back and relax. Here we're gonna have an amazing session today. That's all. You hear me for 10 minutes and I'm out. We're gonna have Dr. Pramila Kudva. She's gonna be a speaker on critical thinking. Dr. Pramila, you all know how much I love her. I speak so highly of her. I know any principal in Bombay, speak to them and they know Dr. Pramila. That's how connected she is. She is the author of two amazing books, Chalk to Talk and Art of Teaching. I think she is one person on every panel. She has spoken on NEPs, on pedagogies. She's an ex-principal. Yes, she has a Bangalore connection, a Tulu connection, but she's a Mumbai girl, out and out. And I see her only bring blessings to our program. So much welcome, Pramila ma'am. Thank you so much. Can you all put your hands together and welcome this wonderful lady here?
Thank you so much, Dawood. It's really, what shall I say? I'm touched. Thank you.
My pleasure, ma'am. And the floor is yours.
Yeah. Now, before we start with the presentation, let me give you a few instructions. I'm going to show us a few words in the next screen. I'll put it up only for 30 seconds. You have to recall what you have seen, write it down, and then we will have a discussion. No cheating. Oh, wait. No cheating. And when the screen is on, you're not going to write it down, copy it. And no screenshots.
Ma'am, apologies, your voice is low.
Am I better now?
Still not. Sorry to say, still not.
Should I log out and log in? Will that make it better?
That works. Normally it works.
No, no,
Yeah.
ma'am. Usually,
I
Mansoor, sir, what I recommend is if most of us can put the earphones on and put our things on, mute, will help.
Okay. Should I also put the earphone on then?
We are good, ma'am. I'm okay. If most of us, I know it's a little low your voice, but we are fine. If there are fans and all running, you can switch it off. Otherwise, we are good to go.
Okay. All right. So no copying, no cheating, and no screenshots. Is that okay? Everybody? Yeah. Now we can have the screen. 30 seconds only. Time up.
the screen was not shared, ma'am. I couldn't see nothing.
No?
So we share the screen, Mansoor sir. We'll do it again for 5 seconds for Mansoor sir.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
sir. Time up. As ma'am says, I'll go back the first slide.
yeah. So now write down whatever you have, what you can recall, whatever you have seen. No, you don't have to share it with me right now. Everybody done?
Yes.
All right. Now we will see the screen again and you tell me how many words you got it right. Since I can't see
Nine
everybody.
words.
So,
Yes.
8.
I,
Ma'am, I got 8. Angelina, I got 8 correct.
I
Okay,
got
put your
I
right
got
hand in,
nine.
take it at the back and pat your
Eight.
back. Okay.
Eight.
and
I got 8.
she went to bed after reading all the words you wrote. She felt sleepy.
All right. Who else
No,
got?
sir. I forgot to take the blanket on me to snooze.
Ah, nice. See,
Oh,
look at that.
okay. So now who has got only 3, 4, 5? Everybody is
The-
good. Excellent, excellent. Now, how did you remember all these? Did you form a pattern to remember?
Yes, we do that.
You did. What did you do?
associate. Associate each word with a picture.
With a picture. Okay. Anybody else who did some other
Ma-
technique?
yeah, ma'am. Sleeping is my hobby, so I really just got those words.
For,
I
for me, it
enjoyed
was,
sleeping. I like what it was.
Okay. So it's nice to have a hobby like that. Okay. Now, what
for me,
did
it
you
was
do?
like, rare for the day. That's it, done.
Okay. But how could you remember the words? What did you do?
Taranam, since you're not reading it, she says she made sentences like snooze in pajamas, take a blanket at night.
Okay. All right.
For me, it was a
It was a Kalpana. What is it?
comfort zone.
Okay. So how many words did you get right?
I got 7 right.
You got 7 right. Which words
Yeah.
did you not get?
The first word slumber
Okay.
and yeah, and bed, nap. These three I missed.
Bed and nap.
Yeah.
Okay, you nap. So you can nap anywhere, not in the bed.
Haha.
So you didn't remember that.
Yeah.
I'm just being silly.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
now what I'm trying to tell you here is you have formed some kinds of association. So what is it that you really did when you're forming the association?
We create a passionate picture in our mind about that word.
Okay. And
We
And
connected.
we,
and then what did you do? Somebody said something?
I
We
said we
connected.
connected it.
You
Connected.
connected it.
Connected.
You connected it. So in other words, what you did was you analyzed it and you put it together, you synthesized it. Does that make sense?
right, right.
Yes.
You analyzed it and you synthesized it. First and foremost, you saw meaning in it. Is there anything else that you did?
No, actually, all the 9 words are very common words. I remembered very fast. I
Yeah,
left the slumber to do it later, but I forgot to associate. So that's how I did that. You did all the easy words first, then I did the harder words later. So I managed to do only 9.
that's excellent. Now, when I do this with the children, I nearly come up with words which were not even there because their creativity runs so fast and they're not able to look at it and form the kind of associations that adults are able to do. So we come up with words like I've heard words which were not there at all. So now what we have done is, can we have the next slide, please? So what we have done is we have conceptualized, we have applied the thought, analyzed, synthesized, and observed. Now, observation, experience, etc., these are all things that you can do later. It's not done in this particular exercise, but it can be done later. Let me take a moment and tell you a story. This is from the Mahabharata. The Kauravas and the Pandavas want the help of Krishna for the war. Arjuna goes to Krishna, he goes to his abode, and Krishna is asleep. So Arjuna sits near the foot In a little while, Duryodhana comes there. And Duryodhana, being a king, sits near the head of Lord Krishna. And Krishna opens his eyes. Who does he see first? Tell me, who does he see first?
Duryodhan.
Arjun.
Why does he see Arjun first?
Because he's below his feet.
Sorry?
Because he's below his feet.
Correct. He is sitting near the foot. So when you open your eyes from the sleeping position, you see somebody who is at the foot and not somebody who is sitting near your head. The line of vision, that's right. So he looks at Arjuna and says, "Oh, you're here. What is it that brings you here today?" And Arjuna says, "I want your help in the war." Now Duryodhana is peeved. He says, "How is it that you're giving him the offer when I'm also sitting here?" Then Krishna, being Krishna, says, "Oh, I did not see you. But I must tell you, since you are also as dear to me as Arjuna is, I would like to help you too. But I have one problem," he says. "I have an option to give you. I have an army which can go to one of you, and the other person will have me and not the army." Who took the army and who took Krishna's help?
Arjuna took Krishna.
Arjun.
Arjun
Arjuna
took
took
Krishna,
Krishna's help.
and Duryodhana took the army. And what happened, we know. So, what is involved here? Why do you think Arjuna took Krishna's help?
He was down to earth.
Okay. And
He had no pride.
somebody says Krishna is one man army.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but it's more than that. What else was it? Why do you think people in the hospital pray more than the people in the temple or the mosque?
Fear of
Because
death.
God is always with the weak.
Not with the weak. God is always there with
Because of the
everybody.
need.
Sorry?
Because of the need out of urgency.
Absolutely. And because we believe in Him, if you don't believe, He won't be able to help you. Now that's going into a philosophical mode. But right now, if you are thinking of the critical thinking, what do you think went on in Arjuna's head and what do you think went on in Duryodhana's head?
Duryodhan felt that I have an army, so I will win. Whereas Arjun knew that since God is with him, he cannot fail.
Okay, so he looked at somebody who is stronger than the army. Is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
He felt that's what he could do. Now, so here we have not looked at the exercise that we did. This was a different kind of exercise. What is it that comes to mind here is the experience and the reasoning and the ability to communicate. Let's go ahead. These are the sub skills of critical thinking. You can have a look. I'm not getting into the details of each of these because then it will be a long drawn out affair. You can just have a look. You can see it clearly, or you want me to read it aloud? Focusing skills, that's the top one, the pink one at the top. Then information gathering skills, organizing skills, analyzing skills, generating skills, and integrating skills and evaluation skills. These are all various skills that are the subsets, sub skills of critical thinking. Move ahead. Okay, these are, why is it that we need to have critical thinking at all? It arouses the curiosity, it polishes your creativity, and it helps in the research skills, and it also helps in the problem solving ability, and it helps to improve your decision making. The story that I told you, where would you fit that in? Can you fit that in here?
Decision making.
Decision making. Okay. Any other?
Also, in fact, all of them, ma'am, for me, but problem solving ability.
Problem solving is is at the top. Everything fits in there, probably without the research skills, but problem solving is at the top, and decision making. Now, problem solving and decision making are also related. We'll see how that is. Oh, next. I forgot that you were handling it. Okay. Now, step one. Step one is observation. Step two is analysis. Step three is synthesis. And then, after having synthesized it, you infer. And then you communicate. Problem solving comes last. So, it is a process of critical thinking that leads to problem solving. So, there was a problem on hand, and that problem is solved. Now, how will you strategize critical thinking? How would you ensure that critical thinking is honed in the students? One of these is to have a fishbone. Now, fishbone, I have taken the example of air pollution. Now, air pollution, what are the reasons for the air pollution? That is listed down here. Industrialization, deforestation, natural disasters, and automobiles. These are the four main categories. Under that, they have subdivided it into many more. So what is involved in doing all this? What is the process that the children will be going through? I've written here analyzing skills and organizing skills. They're learning to organize these skills under particular categories. An excellent way to form this graphic organizer and to remember the points. It's very easy to remember once you have categorized it. So far, so good? Okay, now we will have fun. So far, I gave you some theory, and now we will have fun. It's called consider all factors. Isn't that puppy cute? Now your daughter comes to you and says, Mama, I want this puppy. He's so cute. I want to have him. I want to keep him at home. Please, Mama, please, please, please. Now, before you say yes, there are some factors you need to consider. I want you to write them down. What are the factors that you will consider? 2 minutes.
Give some clues or hints so we start thinking more.
The minute the daughter comes and says, I want a dog, are you going to bring the dog in? What are the things that you need to consider before you get a dog home?
For me, it's just all of us together against my wife. We're the only one problem in the house.
No, that's not it. If you get a dog, there are so many things that are involved.
Yes.
Hygiene.
Space.
So, ma'am,
Hygiene.
my first question would be, how are you going to take care of him?
Okay. All right. Let's just talk about it instead of writing it. Okay.
I'm also reading the comments. Maybe since you're not reading, Kajal ma'am says feeding, grooming, going for a walk, vaccination.
Yes. And
Tarana ma'am is worried more about where will she go on a vacation with the dog. She has to choose between a husband. Who will she take?
Yes.
For me, it is
Naming the dog
hygiene and
itself.
safety.
Sorry?
Hygiene and safety.
Hygiene and safety, yes.
A pet-friendly environment. Does your society even allow you to keep pets?
Yes.
That is also
Very
important.
good. Yeah. And if you're living on the 10th floor?
Lifts are not allowed. In some societies they don't allow. It's, for example, in our society they don't allow us to keep pets.
Yes. So that's a factor to be considered. What else?
Ma'am, my first thought in my head would be, I hate pets. How to agree? Second point would be, who would take care because I won't do it. Third would be
Yes.
financial crunch.
No, the dogs are not so
How do I
expensive.
pull in? So I would say a big N in capital and O in capital.
Okay, these are also concerns, but dogs are not
I
so expensive. I can tell you that.
I second you, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else? When you bring a puppy home, you have to potty train the puppy, right?
For me, it's going to be back to pavilion, how I used to take care of my kids, and I really don't want to go in that mode right now.
That's right. When the puppy comes home, it's going to pee and poop all over the place. You need to train the puppy.
That
So
was
that is another
ultimate
issue.
reason. End of story.
So, and not just that. If the puppy falls sick, it vomits, it has a loose motions. Who is going to take care? Who is going to walk the
You
dog?
need to train two people. Ma'am, you need to train two people at the same time, the pet and the child.
Okay.
My goodness, we
Supposing,
have an army against pets here, Pramila ma'am.
looks like, I'm a dog lover.
So am I.
Anyway, now I'm a
Loving
dog
a
lover.
dog and having a dog is two different things.
That
we all
Absolutely,
we
I
all love
agree.
the we all love the animals. It's no hate related to that, but taking the responsibility is a big challenge. So it will
that's a
be a big
philosophy
no
Like to get
from
into.
my side to any kind of pet in my house.
I had a dog. He's no more. Now I don't want any more. Now let's get back to this discussion. Your daughter who wanted the dog was of marriageable age. Now she's married and gone. Now who is going to take care of the dog?
Mama takes care.
That's a factor to consider, is it not?
दहेज में तो ही ना डॉग भेजेंगे, ससुराल वाले को
नहीं
एक्सेप्ट भी करना चाहिए.
नहीं मैम, मैं तो भेज दूंगी दहेज में.
अरे डॉटर को ही एक्सेप्ट करे वही बड़ी बात है. Now with dog you're sending.
So ये दहेज में कुत्ता भेज रही है. Anyway, so what I was trying to tell you here is when you are gender equality. Now, what I'm trying to tell you here is you are trying to develop focusing skills and evaluating skills. You're getting them to focus on something and evaluate the worth of that particular decision. This has come from the fact that my daughter wanted a dog, and she knew I was always. I grew up in Bangalore with the dogs in the house. It was not a problem because the dogs would be let out. They would go around in the garden, do their job, and come back. We didn't have to clean. We just had to ensure that that was taken care of at a later point in time. So we didn't have to worry about the house getting into a mess. So she knew I was fond of dogs. She coaxed me into getting the puppy, and we went to Lonavala to get the pup. He gave us a lot of good moments, no doubt on that. But after she married and she left, it was my husband and I who had to take care of him. So it stemmed from that, the critical thinking component. So focusing skills and evaluating skills, you can consider, when you consider all factors, these are the things that you are going to help the children to develop. Can we have the next slide, please? So now another thing is, these are the, I think Dawood also mentioned it some time ago in one of his sessions, that these are the what, how, why, when, where, and who. 5 W's and 1 H. These are the things that you need to consider, because when you ask questions, that is when the window of thinking opens. When you don't ask questions, the mind doesn't work. It is believed that a teacher asks something like 350 questions in a day, out of which only 20% are worth thinking about. So we also need to develop our thinking skills. When rubbish in, rubbish out, we keep saying. When you ask a good question, you will get a good thinking answer. Now, going back to this critical thinking, going back to our national curriculum framework, there is something called pramanas. And pramanas and questioning and panchadi, these are some of the things which they've taken from the ancient Indian thoughts. Now it is believed, I have a story to tell you here. Nachiketa, son of Vajrasava, it is come from Manduk Upanishad. Nachiketa was a boy of 5 years old, but he was very, very learned and knowledgeable, and he had an excellent questioning skill. Vajrasana performed a yajna, and after the yajna, he wanted to give away in dana. You have to give away the gifts. And he was donating cows to the people. And Nachiketa realized that the dana included cows which were sick, old, and they are not worthy to be given as dan. So he goes up to his father and he says, "Who are you going to gift me to?" The father was busy. Father ignores the question, but Nachiketa persists. And when he asks it repeatedly, the father gets angry. And then he says, "I'm going to gift you to the Lord of Death." After saying that, he realizes what he said. But Nachiketa has none of it. He said, "You have said it, so now I have to go to Yamadharma. Yamadharma is the Lord of Death." He goes there and has a dialogue with Yamadharma, who is supposed to be the expert in debate. And this 5-year-old has a debate with Yamadharma, and Yamadharma says, "You will go back." And he gives him 3 boons. I don't want to get into the boons right now. He gives him 3 boons and sends him back to earth. So the more questions you ask, the more they will learn. So why did this happen? What is it that you could have done to do it better? And what is the other way in which you could have done it? These are all questions which will make them think. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, we're going to have some fun here. PMI is plus factors, minus factors, and interesting factors. First, we are going to look at the plus factors. All seats are taken out of the bus. There is a driver's seat. Of course, otherwise the driver cannot drive. But all other seats are taken out. What can be the plus factors of this? You can tell me.
It can be turned into a home.
Ah, okay. Anybody else? Everybody needs to say this.
Well, it's not logical to say, but more people will come in now. More
Yes,
space.
more space.
It can be used as a ground bus at the airport.
Okay, why only at the airport?
That's what I imagine, so I just told.
Okay, all right. Next.
A cafe near the station.
Okay.
Mobile bus,
Mobile bus
like
for
which
what?
is yes, like she said,
A
cafe,
mobile
anything.
library.
So yes, very nice.
A
Okay,
mobile library.
mobile library.
This can be used for exercising, gymming.
Okay,
Also for dancing.
ah, next. Saved from rainy weather in Mumbai. Okay. Come on, children would have given me many more by now.
Shelter home.
Okay. That's,
We'll make a library out of it.
somebody said that already.
Oh, somebody said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It can be a transportation or a collection van.
Transportation for?
Transportation for goods, or maybe when you are moving, you can use it.
Okay.
It can be a mini Noah's Ark.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. I love what she's written. classrooms for, yes, Golden Spur entertainment bus, classroom for
Ah,
street children, nukkad
yes,
natak, food
yes,
truck.
yes. Now you're thinking. Food truck was
When you
said
fight with
earlier.
your wife, you have an alternate space to go and sleep.
That's the
Mobile
best.
hospital. Mobile hospital. Yes. Are you running out of ideas?
Picnic from Mumbai to Mangalore.
Mangalore in this bus.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm coming, Kalpana ma'am.
Most welcome.
All right.
Can
Let's
be
move.
can be
Yeah.
also used to take the essentials for the poor and needy to be distributed.
Okay. So distribution for distribution of goods. Fine. So there are some things which came up, which is more from the humanitarian angle. There are some things which were just fun. Some things as a teacher's perspective. Fair enough. Let's look at the negatives. What can be the negatives here?
No place to sit. How much a person is going to stand? You have to sit down. Then elderly, it's not elderly friendly for old people.
Okay. Cleanliness is an issue. Okay.
The bus actually becomes a truck.
Yes.
Standing will be difficult in a moving bus.
Yes.
Overcrowdedness also then.
Okay. How many of you feel comfortable in that bus that takes you from the airport to the plane? If you don't get a place to sit?
With luggage, it's become very difficult to even stand.
Yeah,
Even hand luggage. That's the only thing that we carry at that time.
correct. So any other negatives?
You can't even stand in this because there is nothing to hold on to except for
Let
the.
us assume. Let us assume it is there. Let us assume for a change. Let's say I'm giving it to you.
No rules will be followed, I think. No
Okay.
discipline and rules.
It loses its identity as a bus. Okay. Does it matter?
No, because it can be used for other purposes.
Yes. What else?
No help or support only. I think driver is the only one who's going to drive. Otherwise, in normal buses, you do have the conductor, someone stationed inside.
So there is no support. All right.
There's a lot of chances for theft which will happen.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think? There are more pluses and less minuses?
It
Yes.
all depends upon thinking, actually. If we want to look at the positive side, we remove the positive side. And if negative, we were just thinking about the negative.
You
It
told
all
me more
depends upon
positives.
thinking.
No, you
Okay.
gave me more positives, and now you have stopped with a couple of negatives. That is why I'm asking you.
Yeah, there are more plus and minus.
There are more pluses and minuses. Now, what will be interesting here? If you were to make a Venn diagram, plus on one side, negatives on the other side, and a Venn diagram with interesting thing in the middle, what would that interesting thing be?
Your purpose.
Purpose is what? Interesting what? How is it interesting? Don't be COVID positive. Okay. Wear your mask. Anything interesting? None at all?
Yeah, it would be a multi-purpose bus or van, whatever you call it.
That's interesting. Okay. What else?
Suddenly we can use bus for not just transportation. maybe just display. Interesting. People look at it bus differently now.
How many of you are aware that Bombay Municipal Corporation has a mobile bus? And every year they have a theme. And this mobile bus goes from school to school free of cost. And children can go in, it's an air conditioned bus, and children can go in and have a look. And they have certain games also which they play. Everything is on display. Very well done. Okay, anything else interesting?
It can be used as ambulance also.
Sorry?
It can be used as ambulance also.
Oh, this is something new that has come up. Yes? Yes?
We can
Anything else?
use this as tents, or maybe for wayfarers or homeless if they just want to stay for one night.
Philanthropic, yes. Yes.
I think, ma'am, sometimes an art teacher can use it as a live art class where the children occupy one in window each, or two children at one window, and they can see they can draw, what they see.
They can
Okay.
paint the bus. To add on ma'am's thing, they can paint the bus or draw something on the bus to
Exactly,
make it more
exactly.
creative.
Yes.
ಅದು
So now we can ideate, we can keep going on. Now, what I want you to do is, yeah, now we can close the presentation, Dawood. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, man.
So now, what I want you to think is, what is the whole purpose of this activity? Positive, plus, minus, and interesting. What is the purpose of this activity?
To
Thinking
have
both creatively and critically.
to give advice,
Evaluation,
TMC,
focusing, everything. Yes.
All right. Yes, Dawood, you were saying something?
yeah, to give advice to the best people, best buses.
Best buses. No, but I think we should give advice to the buses in Bangalore. Best buses are still better. Purpose with possibilities. Explore the possibilities is what we're trying to do here. Don't stop. Explore the possibilities. Create options. Generate. You think you can do this in the class?
Yes.
Somebody with an idea? When I was doing the life skills, I'll give you another anecdote. I was going to the 10th standard and taking the life skills. I used to generally give them a dilemma and we would discuss and come to a kind of a conclusion. And on that particular day, it so happened more than one person wanted to go to the washroom at the same time. So we decided to use the topic whether I should permit people to go to the washroom together. And we had two groups, one group for and the other group against. And all the things that they do in the washroom came to light because of that, because they had to defend themselves. What they would do when they go together, how they play, how they harass one another, everything came out. And then they realized we were all laughing together, we were having fun, but they realized they had let the cat out of the bag. So you can have fun also with that. Anyway, I didn't want to go too much into the details of the critical thinking. This is just a bird's eye view, so to say. So I stop here. You have any questions? I'm more than willing to answer.
Wonderful. First of all, I think thank you so much, ma'am. We deserve, a big round of applause for her and the effort and the way, so succinctly that made us all a little smarter than we were 45 minutes ago. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. Uh, and this is what we would love to hear from everyone. I think we had a lot of thinking around. That's the whole idea. Before I open the floor for the next 10 minutes, where we have Q&A and you can ask anything, This is what we're trying to do with the children. I'll just give you a brief before, yeah, Kajal ma'am, I'll just come to you. Give me a minute. I just met, Shivram sir, someone, he has done an MOU with a university called the CV Raman University, somewhere in near Indore. And today I had a lovely meeting with him, and he said that this is exactly what we need in such universities. The students are learning, and they have introduced a course called Bachelors of Vocational Education, and they were looking for life skill trainers. Again, we are not a dip and coffee ban jayegi kind of a program. We are taking our time, we're enjoying ourselves, we're going to learn a lot more from a lot of people, including, you all who will come and share your sessions. And eventually in a year's time we'll be ready when schools call us. There's a school in Pune I went. They are the ones. There's a school in Udaipur, and this is what we're doing, increasing the tribe of our skill ambassadors. So once again, there's some amazing opportunities coming our way. Hang on to each other, learn from each other, and let's think critically. Thank you so much, everybody. And this opens up the floor. Yes, Kajal ma'am, the floor is yours for asking questions.
Ma'am, hats off to you for such lovely session. It was so easy, and the connection with I think Arjuna's story and all, it was helpful. My question is, how do you talk to a toddler or a pre-primary kids children? Like, how do you make them think about it, and how to go around it? Because you
Okay.
don't get such answers from there.
So for pre-primary, you have to look into the growth and developmental stages. First and foremost, there are, if you can talk of these panchakoshas, first is physical development. Cognitive development is the fourth stage. First is the physical development, then comes the self-awareness, then comes the values, and then comes the cognitive skills. So simple thing is, they see something, they see a zebra, they may tell you this is a horse. Then the parent says, no, beta, there are stripes on the body, so it is not a horse, it's a schema. So then the child may look at a tiger and say zebra, because tiger has stripes. Then the parent will again say, no, this is a tiger, this is not a zebra, zebra is taller. So then through a process of assimilation, the schemas get transferred into a concept. So for a pre-primary child, critical thinking comes a little later. So you have to understand the developmental stages.
Right, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Have I answered you? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I had the same question in mind, so it is answered.
All right. Thank you. Now you can conjugate it differently and ask.
Yeah, active, passive voices. That's what we learned.
Anybody else with any questions?
In today's world,
Yeah.
we are rushing with each year of a kid's development. We are not ensuring whether they are physically developed or cognitively developed. We are putting them into higher levels without understanding and being aware if they have learned, if they have evolved, or if they have raised their levels.
Yeah.
And
So
when they get into the fifth grade or the sixth grade, they'll be totally unaware of how they are studying or how they can progress towards better future. So how will we address this, man?
see, first and foremost, the teachers and the parents need to work in tangent. I mean, work in tandem. So they have to work together. And what they need to do is put the child in the role of a discoverer. I'll give you an example. The teachers had given a project. This is an example I think I've used several times because it made it made some impression on me. The children had the ice cream sticks which have got rounded bottom. So they had to make a fence. And they said, we can't make a fence. Are yaar, we can't make a fence. We have to cut the bottom. So they cut it and they made it straight. Now they fix it, it doesn't stand. So somebody said, "Or plasticine clay leke aate hain." They brought the plasticine clay and they put it there and they stuck it. It stood, but they tried to lift it, it falls. They said, "No, yaar, dhaga se bandhte hain." So they tied it with a string. But at the corner, they still can't tie it with a string. So then somebody said, "Are ye angle lagate hain." So they found out by themselves. If the teacher were to say, get a plasticine clay, put it in that, and tie a string and put an angle, they would have done it. But would they have remembered it? Would they have used their gray cells? So the teachers also have to be facilitators. For that, we have a lot and lot of things to do. We need to realize that we need to change our way of thinking. We need to change the way in which we teach. Chalk and the talk is easy. Write on the board and tell them this is what you need to do. It's easy. But you want to get them to understand. I had written one thing on culture of a school, learning school. I'd given one example there. I think, Dawood, you read it. Culture of a school. Take an example. You take a jug of water and you take a Pepsi can and you put the Pepsi can in it. What will happen to the can? Will it float? Will it sink? What will happen?
If it is full, it will sink.
Okay, it's a Pepsi Light can. Okay? Everybody agrees with him? How many of you agree? Now, suddenly everybody has gone quiet.
Yeah, we are not sure what the answer is, yes or no. We'll agree with you, Pramila ma'am, whatever you say.
What I say is not the right thing. What is right is what I need to say.
Yes.
Wow.
It has something to do with the density. Pepsi Light is lighter, so it floats. So now the child, what they have to, there is a technique that I had explained. It's called the POE, predict. Before the teacher puts the can into the water, they have to predict what the hypothesis would be, what the result would be. And then they observe. And then they have to explain why it happens. See, in that process, what you're doing is getting the child to think. So if you tell the child this is what is going to happen because the density is low, so it is going to float. हाँ ठीक है, टीचर ने बोल दिया, मान लिया. It doesn't help. So every time we have to ask ourselves what we need to do to make the child think. I can go on and on. I've got
Right. I think that's a cue for me to take over, perhaps. But once again, ma'am, thank you so much. As you always said, we have become more critical thinker. Please don't use a lot of critical thinking with your spouses. Be kind on them. I had a lovely Valentine's Day presentation today.
Dawood, 52 years of marriage, okay?
Oh, all the love is out there. We have our own Sudhamurti out here, and I think I really, love you for that, ma'am. The kind of, and I met sir, and trust me, when I went to Pramila ma'am's home, I could see the love. Sir was all over the place. Making sure she's well, making sure, I could see that love brewing, and I love my time. Hopefully, we can all join in together and create a beautiful platform. Thank you so much, Pramila ma'am, for your session today. As always, okay, Dorothy ma'am will have Angelina ma'am's last words. But as always, we promise ourselves a pack 1 hour. We are 5 minutes early for the 1 hour. So there you are, Angela ma'am. Go ahead, and hopefully we'll continue these sessions next week. Next week, only one request. We might do a session on Wednesday instead of Thursday. Keep that in mind. I'll keep reminding you. Other than that, thank you once again. We have got 2 quick questions here, so maybe in 5 minutes. Angelina ma'am, go ahead, and I'll read the question Tarannu ma'am asked. Ma'am, you would like to unmute and ask yourself. Tarannu ma'am, please go ahead.
Sir, ma'am, yesterday I was with my little one. She's just 4.5. She's going to turn 5 years old. So she saw me, doing much of the things on net, and I was seeing some videos also on artificial intelligence. So yesterday when she came from school, she asked me, "Where's your laptop?" So I said, "It is covered and kept." So she said, "You didn't do any session today. You didn't study." I said, "No." Her immediate reply was, immediately she said, "I know where your instructor lives. I will tell him that my Nani did not do her homework today." And I was speechless. And I was just looking at her and I was thinking, what answer should I give to her? So then I told her, I don't have a session today. I have a session tomorrow. So when I reach home tomorrow, I will study in the afternoon and then I will have my session. So she agreed, but not fully. Because she said that you forced me to complete my homework even at 10 in the night. So it was like that I punished her, so she was punishing me. So
No,
You,
that
it
is
is
how they think, ma'am. Today's
kids
generation,
don't
4.5.
critically.
Payback time. It was
Yes,
payback time for her.
yes,
I think
no.
they
I
don't need
don't think.
critical thinking lessons. We need, right?
yes, sir. That is what she taught me
No.
something yesterday.
No, you
Teach
learn
what you
something which
preach
is good.
was the message given to you by the younger one, because our children do that very often. Teach what you
Yes,
preach.
yeah. They observe and they speak then.
See, what she was trying to tell you is what she has heard from her teacher. Children see, children do. It is not that she was trying to get her back up on you or she was trying to teach you a lesson. This is what she has
Yes,
been
ma'am.
told. So she's telling you what she has learned.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So don't look at it
Agreed.
like a lesson taught to you.
No, no,
No.
I never looked at it a lesson taught to me, but I was staring at her, looking at her with love. That what kind of a reply should I give her, because she should not carry any stigma of any kind. So I didn't reply. I just said tomorrow I will do it.
Good.
And
Good for you.
on that note, ma'am, allow me to just say a star of the week is Angelina, ma'am. Last week we discussed about drawing cycles. She went on an auto rickshaw and started riding one. So she is 2 steps ahead of the entire team. So, Angelina, ma'am, thank you so much and a big round of applause for you.
Thank you
I
so
think
much, sir.
everyone on the
Thank
group
you.
has seen the photo. We loved it. We commented on it. On that note, once again, we officially close today's session. Thank you
Yes.
so much, everybody. And we'll see you again next week with another session. Hopefully, we are enjoying our sessions and we're learning also. Pramila, ma'am, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you. Have a
I
great
may
week.
not be available on Wednesday. I have a class from 5 to 7.
Absolutely, ma'am. We'll rearrange it, but make sure we'll do something together on the timing also.
Sure. Thank you.
Everybody, bye bye.
Bye.